This is America in Space, a weekly news and information program on current events dealing with the space industry.
Welcome, and thanks for joining me today. I'm Dawn Meyer, Space Coast News Editor. A small surgical robot has completed its first surgery demo in zero gravity aboard the International Space Station. The robot is made by Virtual Incision and is known as MIRA, which stands for Miniaturized In Vivo Robotic Assistant. It performed several operations on simulated tissue at the orbiting laboratory while remotely operated by surgeons from approximately 250 miles below in Lincoln, Nebraska. Shane Ferreter, a professor of engineering at the University of Nebraska at Lincoln and the chief technical officer of Virtual Incision, tells us a little bit more about MIRA.
So MIRA is a small surgical robot. Saturday was the first time that a surgical robot in space was controlled by surgeons on Earth to perform simulated surgical activities.
The basic idea was that we would make small robots that go inside the body to perform surgery. There's a lot of devices out there that are big robots on the outside. We're making small robots on the inside. And the fact that they were small led to us receiving funding from both the Army and NASA, because both those organizations want to do surgery in crazy far-off places, and small lends itself to crazy far-off places. So as part of that, we've been chosen to fly on the International Space Station. It's kind of a capstone to all of our research performed for NASA. We're very excited to finally get our device up in space.
Dr. Michael Jobst, a colorectal surgeon and member of the Bryan medical staff, was part of the demonstration with MIRA. He and 5 other surgeons at the headquarters of Virtual Incision in Lincoln, Nebraska, took turns remotely operating the robot after it was powered up by NASA astronauts. Jobst had performed 15 surgeries with MIRA during clinical trials on human patients here on Earth, but he had never had to contend with zero gravity or a time delay of about half a second.
The adrenaline was pumping, and I could feel my heart pounding. It was really exhilarating, but at the same time, once I saw that robotic device doing the things that I'm used to it doing, settled down, a split second or a half a second is going to be significant. So this was a big challenge.
You can see a left hand with a grasper and a right hand with a pair of scissors. And we use rubber bands here to simulate surgical tissue.
So you could think of those rubber bands as perhaps, blood vessels or tendons or other connective tissue that has elasticity. So we're able to, grab hold of the rubber bands and then take the scissors and just basically to cut them.
The findings from MIRA are also valuable for expanding surgical options here on Earth, such as in remote rural areas or military battlefields or anywhere else that a surgeon may not be readily available.
And with the successful demonstration of this technology, we hope to move towards deploying our robots in rural settings in Nebraska, critical access hospitals, where you might not have a specialist available. Surgical robots are important. It's a really good way to make a real impact. If you make a good surgical robot, you can really help thousands and thousands or millions of people. So we have a good reason to get up every morning.
Thank you for joining me, and thank you for listening from your home or where you work. Listen each Tuesday for This Week in Space with John Gomez. And join me every Friday for America in Space. From the Florida Space Coast, I'm Dawn Meyer, Space Coast News Editor for About Space Today.
Thanks for listening. Be sure to share our program with your family and friends and follow us on Facebook. Join us each week for news and information on America in Space.